Do I look presentable? Like, am I nasty? Bro, yeah, it's so hot in here. Anyways, I f***ed up. I was supposed to release this video like 2 weeks ago now. I looked through the footage that we took and half the time the audio wasn't working. So I had to scrap the video and do it again, which is a huge pain in the ass because I did the test on the stock intakes on this car and then I installed the intakes, did the test again, got the results, everything. All those footage, all the me installing everything gone. So that was a pain. So that's why it took so long. We're making this video again because I don't want to just show the video and have no audio over it and then I have to do like voiceover or something for the whole time. That's kind of weird. The good thing though is all the data you're gonna see in this video, I have a whole separate set of data than Dyno runs before that I can also show you guys. We're gonna have like a total of like 24 like Dyno runs or something. I think, yeah, a lot. So I guess that worked out for us. But yeah, what we're doing here today, on the Shop Q50, we've done everything, all the other bolt-ons, and the only thing left really is the intakes. And we saved this for last because usually this is the last mod, one of the last mods that we recommend you guys to do. It should be done after you've got the heat exchanger, an exhaust, lower down pipes, because we think the other mods are more important. Because obviously the heat exchanger, as we proved in the last video, is a huge benefit compared to stock. If you want to watch that video, I'll just put, it'll be somewhere here. You can watch that. So that's that. The exhaust obviously opens everything up. You can't make power without that. Same thing with the lower down pipes. The intakes are always often overlooked. We've always known they're beneficial for these cars, but we've never really done a test to show you guys how much. And obviously not, I don't think anybody's done this test with the same car on the same dyno the same day and have done it before and after and show you guys the real data between, you know, how much power it makes before and after the stock and the aftermarket intakes and what kind of IAT and charger temperatures we're looking at. And the whole debate between intake air temperature versus charge air temperature, the temperature at the intake, the MAF sensor, and the temperature at the intercoolers, the charge air temperatures. There's a huge debate online. Like, it's been, you know, that's been around since the beginning of, like, you know, this platform. So in our opinion, before even doing this test, charge air temperature is more important than intake temperature before the turbos, because that same air that you suck through the intakes has to go through the turbos, super hot, gets heated up, and then it's gonna have to get cooled down by the intercoolers. The difference in the temperature at the intake, cooler temperature versus slightly hotter temperature, whether you have like an airbox intake or stock intakes or an open filter intake that we're installing today, we don't think it matters. And today we're gonna prove to you guys why it doesn't really matter if you have an open air intake or what you guys call the hot air intakes. So here's the Boosted 6. We're definitely not sponsored by Monster. I'll put that away. I had to uninstall these to make this video again because like I said, messed up. So these intakes look slightly used, a little dirty, but when you get these, they will be new, obviously, if you buy from our website. So what these intakes are, they're just a simple replacement intake that replaces your turbo inlets, the MAP housing, and then the filters. So you're gonna take all your stock components out, and then these are the parts that goes on the turbos facing up, and then into the MAP housing, and then your filters are gonna be like sticking up like this, like that. So very nice filters. We do have different filter color options for the different materials too, like the neochrome and then the black one. So up to you. I think they do carbon ones too now, right? Yeah. So there's a few options on the filters. The best part about this intake is that the MAP housing is modular. So what that means is when you get these intakes comes with these little inserts that you can remove or reinstall. And what this does is with the inserts installed, it turns the MAP housing size into the stock MAP housing size. It's a 2.5 inch MAP housing. So if you don't have a tune or you have a tune for stock intakes, you can throw these on with the stock, with the inserts on, and it will run like the stock intakes when it comes to the MAP scaling. But if you do have a custom tune, you can just remove this and then convert it into a 3-inch intake. So way bigger MAP housing. And then obviously, you know, talk to your tuner, talk to us if we are your tuner. Let us know that you have these intakes and you are using the 3-inch version, and we'll tune your car that way. For today's video, how we're testing these intakes is we're gonna test on the same car, on the same dyno, on the same day, and we are doing it on the same exact tune. So if you watch our previous videos, we flashed this car on our off-the-shelf tune, the OTS tune, and that's the tune we've been using to test this car with all the different parts we're putting on. So that way we have the same benchmark, the same tune on all these tests. We're not changing the tune, adding more power here and there for each part, so you guys can see what the part does and not what the tune does. Because we're running OTS tune, we have to leave the inserts in because the OTS tune is for the stock intakes or a stock equivalent intakes, anything with a stock map housing. So that's what we're doing today. And for our next video, when we do custom tune this car, I think we'll do this. We'll compare the inserts in and inserts out, so 2.5 versus 3-inch intakes on a custom tune to see what benefits, if there are any benefits of that. But for today, that's what we're doing. So to start this test, I'm gonna run this car on the dyno 3 times with the stock intakes, and then because all of you people online always say this, and I've seen a lot of comments before from the last time we did the intake video, is I'm gonna run another 3 times with the hood closed, so that way you guys can see what the difference is, if there are any differences with horsepower, intake temperature, and charger temperature, with the hood open or closed with both intakes. So I'm gonna do 6 runs on the stock intakes and then install the intakes and do 6 more runs again after that. So it's a lot of work, so you can see why I'm kind of upset that we lost the footage from last time. So hopefully you guys are as excited as I am about this, because this is a very, very interesting video in my opinion. I've been wanting to put this out. Hussein's been wanting to put this out. That's why he's been bugging me about this video too. And hopefully this is a video that can kind of like, I guess, end the debate online about the intakes, the hot air intakes. If sucking in hot air from the engine bay really hurts the performance on your car. I've done this test already. I already know what happened, but I'm gonna do it again. But you guys will have to wait to the end to see the results. Oh, you didn't. Yeah, pretty much all stock, just a few bolt holes we have. So let's go over the setup real quick, just in case you haven't seen the previous videos. Obviously, stock intake boxes. I do have the shell still installed that feeds the air into the boxes, so that's all in place. I did check the filters before doing this to make sure they're not clogged and they're not like super hot, but they're all good. And the only mount on the cars is the Boosted 6 heat exchanger, the Boosted 6 lower downpipes, our 3-inch true dual catback exhaust. That's also valve. We'll have more info coming soon about that finally. Things been slow with that when it comes to manufacturing and all that stuff, but we'll update you guys soon on that. But other than that, that's it. That's no flex fill kit yet, no low pressure pump, no upgraded intercooler, none of that stuff. And the tune is our off the shelf, again, OTS tune that you flash and go, no revisions or nothing. It just adds power instantly. We have dynoed the car before on the OTS tune and the lower down pipes, exhaust, everything, but today all we care about is the numbers it makes on the dyno today, right now. So it's actually a cooler day today because it rained a little bit. It's still raining a little bit right now. So it's gonna be about high 80s today. It's 87 to 89 degrees today. So not terrible. I believe the dyno room temperature is 91 degrees. Also, because I am not testing the cooling system in this car, I'm not testing the heat exchanger and that stuff. So I won't be doing the same back-to-back runs like we did last time, where we're trying to get the car to heat soak. Today we're testing the intakes mainly. So I will let the car cool down a little bit longer between runs. I'll try to get the charger cooling temperature back down to about the same temperature after each run, the best I can. But eventually, if it does get hot, you know, I'll still run it just to show you what the real data is. Alright, and also just showing you guys again, I'm gonna be doing the exact same thing that we did with the last video. I'm going to screen record the Architect dashboard with some of the parameters that you want to look at, except this time I'm going to be looking at a few more things. Well, actually one more thing. So I added intake air temperature at the top left right there, charge air coolant temperature in the middle, charge air temperature on the right, so that way you guys can see all those temperatures as we do the runs. And then down here we have RPM, the gear, accelerator pedal, engine oil temperature, engine oil pressure. That's mainly just for me to look at, make sure the car's warmed up or not getting too hot. But yeah, let's get the car, let's get the dyno calibrated, and then we'll start it. Fun on that first hit, so I'm gonna say these numbers are gonna be a little off. We take out this filter. It is a lot cooler. So 417 horsepower, or 418 horsepower, and 478 torque. Wow, and also we already know the first run of the day is always going to be the best run. It's going to be the coolest temperature in here, and the car's going to be at its coolest too, because I just warmed it up and we just ran it. So keep that in mind. That's why we're going to run this, back to back a few more times. Put some MGs on there. About the same, 411 horsepower, 465 torque. So that torque looks a lot more realistic, because usually when the car spins, you'll see like a smoother line up here, and it actually might inflate the torque numbers sometimes. So I'm still going to include that run just because, it did it on the dyno. It's still part of the data. I'm not going to just throw it out. But we'll still see the intake temperature and charger temperature, all those data right there. But peak power about the same. We lost about 6 horsepower right there, but just a little bit right there. From like 4,500 RPM and up, this is like an identical graph. So. Down a little bit more. That's pretty typical. Yeah. Okay, now I'll cool down a little bit. I'll leave the hood open when we're cooling down. But I'm gonna start closing the hood for the next runs, so we can get 3 more runs in with the hood closed. So I did let it cool down a little bit. everything went back down to about the 90s, so should be pretty good. You can see the hood's closed. Here we go. Pretty much the exact same. 415 horsepower, 474 torque. Okay. 417 horsepower, 460. It's like it's getting back to horsepower now. That's pretty cool. That's pretty consistent again. Pretty much about the same horsepower with the hood open. Wouldn't install the intakes. I let the car cool down a little bit so I don't burn myself. So some of the tools you'll need is I have a, well, preferably like a small ratchet wrench. This is a 1/4 inch ratchet wrench with like a little bendy thing. If you don't have this, it's not like that important, but I have a few socket sizes. I have a 7mm, an 8mm, and then a 10mm just in case I need one, and then like a few different sizes extensions. I have a different ratchet too, and then also I have a stubby flathead and pliers. I think that's it. It's a pretty simple install. You don't even need a lift for this, so I'm just gonna do this on the dyno. First thing, I'm gonna remove this cover right here. So I'm just gonna use a flathead, and we're missing like half the clips on this because this car's clapped. So that actually helps me because it's less stuff to take apart. And again, just like every other video where we install stuff, the work you see in this video does not represent the actual shop work we do here, because I don't work on these cars. We have text for that, but oh yeah, there you go. You can see this cover has these like little air ducts that seals against the stock intake boxes, and it feeds air from the front, the grill. So kind of cool. Not a huge deal if you don't have it. It's what it is. With the box, there's 2 bolts holding them in place. We're missing that one because, you know, again, this car's clapped. But the other one's kind of hidden under here. This cover right here, it's already off for us, so that actually helps us. But I believe yeah, there's one right there. So that's a 10mm. So now the boxes should just kind of move freely. I think this one I can just wiggle loose, honestly. But if I just yell, if you see down here, the easiest way right now, because this kind of moves around, if you see in there, is that 8mm clamp right there, the hose clamp. So if I just get a flathead in there and just loosen it, I should be able to just take this whole thing off straight off the turbo. So it should just be like very tight. And I just dropped the screwdriver. You can also get just a socket wrench with a long extension and go straight from the top, but this is not that. This is not on that tight, so I'm just gonna do that. I try to use like very basic tools, like just like how you guys would in your own garages. There you go. Before you just yank this whole thing out, there's the MAP sensor right there, and then the MAP sensor has a plug. Just unplug that, open the clip, unplug, and here's the driver's side intake. So, and remember, we will be removing the MAP sensor and then transferring this over to the new intakes. So don't forget about that. The other side's gonna be a little bit more complicated because I can't reach this clamp from the top without removing the air box. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the air box first off the inlet, and how that's done is it's held on by these little clips. So if you're going up from the top down, you will open it up. Someone just did a pull out there. And then, so open it up like that. And then at the same time, you should be able to just pull up on it. Come on, baby. There you go. Like that. So pry this open. You open these clips, and that clips into this little notch right here. So that's how you remove the air box. But if you want to put it back in, line up that line right there with the line that's on the inlet. It clips right in. It's like a little quick release, but that's how that works. So on this side, I'm gonna do that. It's kind of hard to show you, so I showed you guys on that one. This. Oh yeah, there you go. Easy. Again, remember, don't rip it too hard and rip the MAP sensor off the little plug. Unplug it, and there's the air box. Right, now when you're in here, I can hit that same hose clamp down there. This one will just be a little bit more complicated because if you see the location of this, it's under the wastegate right there, and it's kind of in towards the block. So very, very hard to get to from the top. So for that, I can't use a flathead, so I can't really get it in there. I'm gonna use a socket wrench, and it's a 8mm. There you go, I got it. Light work. There you go, easy. And then on the passenger side, something you're gonna notice, you're gonna have this return hose coming from all the way from the valve cover right there. This we'll have to remove. So I'm gonna use pliers. Open the clamp. This is also not the clamp that they originally came with. I lost the clamp, so I just found a different clamp in the shop. There you go. So that opens up, and you don't need this anymore. So very important on this little hose. There's a smaller clamp. Don't remove that one. You want to keep this plastic piece right there because this will go into the new inlets. So you can see the two inlets. One of them has an extra little hole right here. That's for that. So this is the passenger side. That's how you can tell. So let's do this side first because it's the harder one. Make sure to put all the clamps on first. Like that. And these clamps are different sizes in aluminum. So these are, I believe, like 7mm. Yeah, these are 7mm on the smaller clamps. This small clamp right here, I'm gonna put here, just kind of like prep it, because I will have to put that in just like that. I'm facing the bolt like up like this towards the left, so I can hit it with the wrench. This I can just kind of leave for now, because I'm just gonna put it on. I'm gonna put the small hose on first. Push it in. It's a little oily, so that helps loops it up. And then now, once it's here, I'm just gonna use a flathead to do it. These parts don't really need to be super tight, because they're all just plastic and rubber. And this part of the intake system's not very under a lot of pressure, so you don't really need to clamp it down super hard and push this. This part's kind of hard because it's very tight in there. You see the angle of this inlet, it's like that. So I'm gonna find the turbo and kind of just guide it in. You can even like lube this up if you want to. Spit on it or something. That always helps. Okay, here's the 7mm wrench. So this part is literally like the hardest part of the whole install. The rest is super simple. I'm like squeezing it like this to feel where the lip is on the turbo. So it's over that lip. I'm gonna tighten the clamp as much as I can. Yup. Well, looks good. And then the map housings are interchangeable left and right, so it doesn't really matter, but just make sure I have the arrow pointing down, and then I'm going to transfer over to the map sensor. So with the map sensor, the two bolts, these are not the original bolts. We found that out the first time we did this. We got some like random bolts and got them to work. The stock bolts should be like a Phillip or something. Whatever bolt it is, just, you know, remove them. They're pretty simple. Like so. Just like that. And be very careful with this, because this is a pretty sensitive sensor. So when you grab it, don't touch all the stuff down there. If your sensors look like dirty and gunked up, use map sensor spray to clean this up, because that right there is the very sensitive part. So this will absolutely mess up your car if it's not working right. So with the map, you see the arrow right there. You're gonna see an arrow on the map sensor itself. Make sure to face in the same direction, like so. And then I'm gonna put the bolts back. Oy. Pretty nice to have like a bench to work on instead of just me standing here. There you go. Just a little tight, not too tight. Don't want to strip it. There you go. And then with the arrow facing that way towards the turbo, that's how you're going to install it. And remember, we are using the inserts, so we're going to leave that in just like that. Put the clamp. Yeah. Clamp like this. Just like this. Yeah. Nice. And then before I forget, I'm just going to plug in the map sensor. I had it like just kind of dangling here. Plug that in, and I'm gonna tighten this hose clamp right here. Alright, so that's on there. All that's left is the filter. Like so. Oh, there you go. That clipped in almost. And then just gotta tighten this clamp. And that's it for the passenger side. And then I'm gonna move to this side. This side's a lot easier because it's way more space to work with. So for this, I'm gonna face the clamp with the bolt up, because I can hit it like straight down from there. Like this, and then you can actually see the turbo on this side. It's right there. Just go yeet on it. Easy, light work. I'm gonna face it towards the right a little bit more. Yeah, like that. Oh yeah, that going nowhere. Same thing with the map sensor. Transfer it over, and then we should be good to go. This way, with the bolt to the right. Plug in the map sensor before I forget again. I'm gonna tug it. Y'all hear that? I took the wire over this way. Nice. Perfect. There you go. Imagine it just falls off.
this little thing, I'm just gonna put it back. I don't have to, cause there's really no more air boxes to like kind of get air from. But I'm gonna put it on anyways, just to cover some stuff up. What do you think? Is it better if I cover stuff?
I would leave it off because it's just gonna scratch these up. I've seen it a lot. We have customers complain about it.
Yeah, you know what? Let's take this off. Leave this off, so that way it sucks in more hot air. Because there's no more air duct from the grill. Cold start number 2. I'm gonna warm the car back up and then we'll do a quick set of runs. First run, 424 horsepower, 474 torque. You can see just throughout the whole power band, it's making more power. From, again, no tuning changes, just the intakes with the 2.5 inch map housing still in there. So that's pretty cool. And again, because I've done this test already, I kind of expected this. I know what's gonna happen. So yeah, I mean, dude, that's insane. Horsepower, 469 torque, and the temperature's been about the same. It cooled out like a tiny bit, but we're within 2 degrees from where we started, so I call that the exact same weather. Went down 420, 472. Let me close out all the ones from the stock intakes so you can see. That's the 3 runs with the aftermarket intakes and the hood open. We went for 424 horsepower down to 420. And about the same torque, so 474, 472, 469. I mean, very, very consistent. So again, just the whole thing is just slightly above the stock intakes. 420 horsepower, 472 torque, the exact same. So you see the top end fell off a little bit right there, but I did do this pull right after the last one, and I did not show it off to pull it down like at all. So that probably hurt us a little bit, but I mean the peak numbers are about the same still. So I did see the intake air temperature got pretty hot, but the charge air temp didn't really, spike up or anything. So, and that's the temperature that matters. Again, 476 torque, same exact conditions. Maybe a little bit more humid. It's raining outside, but consistent. I mean, what can I say? Yeah, the one thing I do notice again is the intake temperature does go up quite a lot. But when I'm looking at charge air temperature, that doesn't really seem to be affected by that too much. And yep, the hood's still closed and everything's just cooling down. Charge air cooling temperature is cooling down, so that in turn will start to cool down the charge air temperature. And the second I start moving, you can actually do that right now. Just take the brake off, put it in drive. The charge air temp back on 109. So yeah, so far IAT doesn't really seem to do much. The brake's still closed. We have one more run to do to finish this test off, so let's get to that. Let it cool down for a few minutes, and even though IAT was pretty hot, starting at like what, 124, 126, charge air temperature stayed cool, and it got back up to 424 horsepower and 480 wheel torque. I think that's actually the best run of the day. Yeah, I mean, there you go. I don't think it matters if we tested it with the hood open or hood closed. And I don't think IAT matters in these cars. Not as much as people think. And let's see, the hood's still closed. Let's see, yeah, intake air temp is at like 136 right now. It's starting to cool down a little bit, but charge air temperature is settling at around 113, 110. So yeah, air to water, that's where it's at. Alright, so I have all 12 runs. Look at that. That's how many runs we did today. Car did very well though, so there's that. Like, this car's very healthy, very consistent. This car has, ever since the stock tune baseline dyno, it has made pretty much like a little bit more than what we usually see on these cars. So we usually advertise OTS tunes to make about high 300, maybe 400 wheel horsepower stock, with stock like no mods, and then with the mods on the car, about 400 to 410 wheel horsepower. And this car did that in the heat. Like, I'm talking like, I think 110 degree weather. Today it's about 90 degrees, so a good bit cooler with the rain coming in. So that, like, I mean, this car being able to do like 410, 417 horsepower on the OTS tune is pretty insane. So this is a healthy car. I just want to show all the graphs that we did today, so you can kind of see how consistent this car is, because you can kind of see the lines are like kind of all like really close together. And of course, with the intakes, with the Boosted 6 intakes, the shorties, the power just got bumped up like across the entire power band. So that's really nice to see. Yeah, so I'm gonna take it inside because it's freaking hot in here. I'm literally wet. Like, look at this, from sweat. So I'm gonna actually pull up all the data. I might use I might put it up on like a board or something, and then so we can see and see how the data compare. Because I think a lot of you are not just interested in the dyno numbers, the horsepower and torque numbers, but you guys are interested in the intake air temperature and the charge air temperature differences.
This is a lot of stuff, and I don't know any better way to do this than just putting it on a board. So excuse my handwriting. This is mostly for me, like as notes. If you're at this point in the video, you already saw the results. You guys are probably already on the way to buy your intakes right now. But for those that want to yap a little bit, I have all the numbers laid out. I have two separate charts. I have stock intakes on the left, Boosted 6 intakes on the right, and we have 3 runs with the hood open, 3 runs with the hood closed.
All right, so I was going to yap about the entire this whiteboard thing I made, but I realized that this is kind of unnecessary since we already showed you guys the dyno numbers, and then I had the Ecutech dashboard pulled up so you saw the temperatures and everything. So I'm gonna skip the part where I'm gonna go through each run and the numbers and everything. We're gonna skip right to the end where we compare the averages of the power torque numbers, the IAT and charge air temperature deltas. I know the guys that's watching till the very end really care about the data. So if you want to see all the numbers plotted out on a whiteboard, just pause this right here. You can look at it.
Again, these are all the numbers. I'm not gonna go through them. It's a lot. I mean, you already saw the runs. But what I want to compare is the average horsepower, torque, and the delta of IAT and charge air temperature, because that's what we're really here to look at. So on the stock intakes with the hood open, we had an average horsepower of 412 horsepower and 469 average torque. And with the stock intakes with the hood closed, power went up to 415 horsepower and 469 wheel torque average. So not bad. I mean, but what's impressive is the second we put the Boosted 6 intakes on. So we averaged 422 horsepower and 472 wheel torque with the same tune, same conditions, just the intakes added. So that's a 10 horsepower gain and about 3 wheel torque gain from just adding intakes. That's pretty insane. And then what's interesting is with the hood closed on the hot air intakes, we averaged the same horsepower, 422 horsepower, and then actually a little bit more torque, 476 torque. I do want to point out the highest horsepower and torque run of the day was with the Boosted 6 intakes, the hot air intakes, with the hood closed. 424 horsepower and 480 wheel torque. That's so that just kind of shows you like it doesn't matter if you have the hood closed or open during these tests on the dyno. With the hood open, it just helps us cool the car down a lot faster between runs. What we want to also compare is the delta. I have my little delta sign. It's kind of cute. IAT, intake air temperature, and charger temperature. That's the change, the differences between the starting temperature and the ending temperature. So on average, with the stock intakes and the hood open, we had a 4-degree difference, 4 degrees delta in IAT. But at the same time, charger temperature, the difference is the increase in charger temperature also was 4 degrees by average. And then with the hood closed, you're gonna see a little bit increase with 7 degrees delta with the intake temperature, and then but the charger temperature stay the same at 3 degrees delta, and that's 3 versus 4. I'm gonna say that's the same thing. And then here's the crazy part, the interesting part, because I'm sure you guys remember seeing the during the video, IAT got super hot with the hotter intakes. With the boosted 6 intakes installed and the hood open, we had an average of 19 degrees increase in IAT. But the charger temperature stayed cool and it only increased by an average of 4 degrees, just like the stock intakes. And then the part that everybody's gonna go crazy about is the boosted 6 intakes with the hood closed. That's when we saw super high IATs up to 147 degrees, 142 degrees, 149 degrees IAT. So we averaged a IAT increase of 23 degrees with the hood closed, but the charger temperature only increased by an average of 6 degrees. So a 2 or 3 degrees more in charger temperature, and it does not affect that much, if anything at all. And as you guys can see from the dyno numbers, the horsepower and torque didn't really decrease. If anything, we actually made the best run with the hood closed at higher IATs. So there you go. There's the data for you. So far, I'm seeing from this is that IAT doesn't matter in an air to water system. Charger temperature stays about the same no matter what the configuration is, but the intakes do make more power. And then let's look at some like peak numbers. The highest horsepower of the day was recorded with the boosted 6 intakes, and that's tied between the hood open and hood closed, because in both configuration we hit a peak of 424 horsepower. And again, that's freaking insane for a OTS tune, intakes, heat exchanger, lower downpipes, and catback exhaust Q50. And then the highest torque recorded today was with the boosted 6 intakes with the hood closed, and that's 480 torque on our last run. The least amount of IAT delta was with the stock intakes and the hood open, and then the least amount of charger temperature delta was with the boosted 6 intakes and the hood open. So what does this all mean though? Hotter intakes doesn't matter. I don't know what else to say. I mean, with all the testing we've done, and again, this is the second time I've done this test, and the results the exact same, about 10 to 12 horsepower gain in horsepower, and basically no effect in charger temperature. Like we've always said, like me, Hussein, Alex have always said, in these air to water cool cars, intake temperature before the turbos, before the intercoolers, doesn't matter. Unless in very specific situations where the car's just sitting outside in the heat with idling with the hood closed. That's like very specific situations, like if you're waiting in the staging lanes at your local drag strip, and it's like a long line and you have to wait like 30 minutes before you can run. But in real world conditions, when you're running these cars, open air filter intake versus an air box versus stock intakes doesn't really seem to be an issue. And I know Hussein and Alex have collectively tuned over 3,000 of these VR30s now, and having open air filter intakes in the engine bay have never been an issue in any of the cars they tuned. So yeah, if you want to maximize cooling in the car, worry about getting the heat exchanger and then the intercooler is upgraded. Or if you want to go to the extreme route, you can even do like an interchiller setup like RZ. But I mean, I guess that's just a lot of yapping to say that it don't matter.